After entering the Everbrine forest, the party managed to navigate themselves to the center. Deep, luscious greenery and flora sprout from every corner, a new color catching their eye with every glance. In the center of it all stands a tall tree, deep dark brown bark sunk deep into the earth, and crimson leaves hanging from its branches. The tree suddenly opens a single eye in the center, a dark green iris staring down at our adventurers. What is the greatest power, mystery, and downfall of humanity? Answer this question, prove your wisdom as well as your resolve, and you may pass. The wise elf Isaiah steps forward and confidently says, Love. Ah, love. The mortals speak of it with such reverence, as if it were a sacred flame, warming, guiding, pure. Fools, you wish to speak of love? Then speak. Let us hear your wisdom, and I may let you leave this forest with your head. And with that being said,
welcome to Roll for Reflection, Episode 3, The War for Love.
woohoo!
Is that good? Is that a good read?
Dude, I think that was all right. Actually, you kind of suck. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, it feels so good to be back.
Yes.
It's like the highlight of my week nowadays.
Really is. I was looking forward to it. I didn't, I think last time, I don't really know what the themes are until you tell me. I think like 2 days ago or a day ago, it was like, this week's theme is love, and I was like, oh, we're both going to be sad the entire episode, aren't we?
Yeah, pretty much. There's going to be a lot of rants. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of seriously deep talks. There's going to be a lot of unpopular opinions thrown around, I want to say. So, it's going to be a good fucking time, though.
Yeah, man.
So, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, I told my cousin this week's theme. I was like, yeah, it's going to be about love. And he's like, yeah, that's going to be some touchy-ass waters. And I was like, yeah, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. But...
Yeah.
It's always fun. It's always fun.
Well, hopefully your cousin is here to join us again.
Hopefully.
With the theme, I think love is such an arbitrary thing to talk about. I feel like every answer given is either wrong or right, but at the same time.
Yeah.
And I feel like love is such a scary word as well. When you hear the word love, what is the scariest word that you can hear attached to that word?
Like the word attached to the word love?
Yeah. So like, let's say you're in love with somebody, like let's say the word that you can attach to relationships. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Baggage, man. Baggage is probably the scariest thing that I can hear. Besides chlamydia, I would say baggage. But that doesn't mean that baggage is inherently a bad thing. Everybody has it, you know?
Yeah.
But there's... let's say two people with baggage come into a relationship together. What do you think is the best advice for those people? Walking into a relationship where they both have baggage, and now they need to try and mesh a life together while still counteracting their own baggage and working towards, you know, that greater goal of marriage.
Well, that's damn near every relationship I've been in, so I don't know if I have the best answer. I'd say, I mean, like you said, every single person, it doesn't matter how perfect you think your partner is or how perfect people think you are, everyone has baggage, everyone has stuff that is going to be, a little rocky to deal with. I feel like my answer is the same for damn near every issue we talk about. I think communication really is like the key to everything. Like, you know,
The
you
end
can
all
have
be
all
all
this
kind of.
baggage. Yeah, you can have all this baggage, but as long as you make your partner aware of how it's going to affect the relationship and being, oh, excuse me, sorry, being open about it, you know, like an open door policy of, listen, I'm talking about my own stuff. You know, this is some things that I need to work on, whether it be like actual, except to deal with a relationship, being in, you know, a relationship, dating.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I'm dealing with and I'm trying to work on. And if you have input on it, or if there's something that's bothering you, if there's something that you think I could work on that maybe I'm blinded a little bit, like if I'm not aware of it,
Yeah.
because if you're not aware of it, you can't work on it.
Isn't that a bitch, though? I want to caveat
Oh.
on what you're saying, though. It's hard if you're not aware of it. Hello to Tropical
Yeah.
Sponge, hello Cade, and hello Sal. It's good to see you guys. Welcome to the stream. Caveat onto what you said. It's like, oh, I don't know about these issues, so it's hard for me to try and work with you on them. What if that person has a really hard time with saying those issues? What if that person has gone through some shit in their life and they're like, I am really not comfortable with talking about my baggage? Do you think that's inconsiderate in a way, or do you think it's completely excusable?
I think it's excusable to a point, like, because you're right, people do have issues talking about shit. I've had, you know, trouble talking about stuff that, you know, I need to work on, or stuff that bothers me for the longest time. I feel like 23 years I've been alive, only the last 2 I felt like I've actually made any progress of communication and you know, just letting people know what's up. You gotta be fair in that regard too. But I think eventually down the road, like if you start getting serious into the relationship and you get a little bit more comfortable, a lot of people will say like, "Oh, I'm afraid of conflict, so I don't want to bring it up." It doesn't have to be confrontational always. Like you can, you know what I mean? Like if you find a way to express how you feel, it is hard, you know, because you could be trying to express how you feel and you don't even come at it with any like steam in your engine. Like you can just, in your mind, be like, "Hey, this is something I want to talk about," and someone else can like take that as an attack, or you know, if they're I'm trying to think of like a good word for it. If they're a little sensitive about whatever topic you're bringing up, then that can feel like an attack, even though you're just trying to talk about shit.
What do you think about the people who are trying to do the talking, though? With those sensitive topics, I know that it can be kind of hard to sidestep your way into that kind of conversation. I know I've had my issues in the past to where it seems like I'm being super insensitive because I'm talking about it like it's no big deal. That's because it is no big deal to me. I haven't gone through this specific thing, so it's no problem for me to walk into it. You know, what would you say to the people who are trying to navigate themselves into those talking points, but they don't want to be insensitive at the same time?
I don't know. It's hard because I feel like everyone's brain is different when it comes to, you know, approaching something.
Yeah, I've got kind of a broad answer to it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you're gonna fuck up. you're gonna fuck up. It's gonna be insensitive the first few times, but you know, you'll learn. That's your partner. That's your person. You know, you learn specific mannerisms about this person, and you know when you're kind of stepping into some what is the term? Uneven waters, or whatever the fucking term is.
Yeah, and we talked about this, I think, the first episode. I feel like if you bring up the first episode, where my audio was complete dog shit.
Yeah, it sounds way better now.
I know. I spent $100 on a mic.
I know. I looked like a pixelated mess, and now you can see every single one of my pores and blackheads and blemishes on my face. And I am so happy that you guys could see my fucked up face.
That's why I'm sticking with my awful laptop camera and my ring light that just makes me look like a glowing ghost. I'm
Yeah.
pale.
Sal says, yeah,
no.
nice mic.
Good. Yeah, so going back to like something we talked about earlier is communication can be hard, and sometimes people will take it as an attack if both parties are not the best at communication, but at least you're trying. I feel like if you are open and you're trying to express how you feel to the best of your ability, and your partner immediately shuts it down, and there's just no hearing it out, then that's a huge red flag. That either, there's like the gray area where it's like, okay, well, maybe they just took it the wrong way, maybe I'm not wording it right. But I feel like if there's something that's pretty straightforward and clear, and you're just getting no reception, you're not getting constructive criticism, or
Yeah.
like they're just like hostile outright,
Mhm.
I think that's pretty bad. There's definitely been a few times in my life where I've tried to be like, hey, this bothers me, and I immediately get like, given back this negative attitude that's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just,
and
it's hard.
let's not make it twisted. I'm not going to speak for you, but I'm going to assume there have been times in my life to where I'm annoyed about something and I come off as hostile about it instead of how I normally am. But maybe that's just because that certain thing, triggered something that happened in my past, and it makes me like, if I don't bite this in the ass right now, I can tell that the relationship is going to fucking tank,
Right.
And I feel like that's so hard to recover from, especially in this day and age. It's so hard to make a mistake like that, to where you accidentally, snap. Not snap as in like violent, but you're not nice. You're being kind of an asshole. I feel like that's so hard for the receiving end to forgive, because it's scary.
Yeah. And then like trying to open up and then maybe not getting fully rejected, but getting a sense of getting rejected when you're being vulnerable, then that can really set off that spark where you do snap a little bit.
Good point. I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 14 questions this session. Keep in mind, we still have like 12 left over from last session, so we got some catching up to do on these questions. So we're gonna bang out a couple of these questions.
That's just more content for future episodes.
Exactly. First question that caught my eye. Right now, I'm in a relationship with my boyfriend of 3 years. The love has been gone on both sides for a few months now, but we're both scared to move on because of the loneliness that follows. What do we do? I love your show, by the way. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for watching.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, what a fucking question. Dude, you got
can you read it back? Can you read it back? She said it's been loveless for the last few months.
Right now, I'm in a relationship with my boyfriend of 3 years. The love has been gone on both sides now for a few months. We're both scared to move on because of the loneliness that follows. What do we do?
Jesus. Yeah, we're starting off strong.
Yeah, very strong.
Do you have something? Because
absolutely.
Okay.
That's always the biggest fear, though, isn't it? When you're in a relationship and you're with somebody that you really like, and you're like, I can't imagine moving forward and having that loneliness and not having my person. But the reality of it is that before you met this person, just like what Sal says in the chat, stay with friends. A healthy relationship with yourself is more important. You had that relationship with your friends and your family and yourself before that person ever came along. It may not have been right before or during that time, but it was at one point. There's always going to be that initial loneliness after you get out of a relationship. And I think that the number one most important thing to do, first of all, is get out of the relationship. without being insensitive, you guys are kind of wasting each other's time in a sense. There's a lot
like
other things that you guys could be doing, but when you're surrounded by that, it sounds like it's not all that toxic, but it could be. But when you're surrounded by all that toxicity and those bad feelings, you kind of just drive yourself into a deeper pit.
Yeah. One, I just think it's the fact that you both agree, like, on both sides. If because I feel like some people can get into a relationship where they don't feel as loved, or it's just like not the same energy. I'm really sensitive to like energy change, not just with like romantic endeavors and all that, but if I go to hang out with friends and the vibe's off, my mind, my anxious, stressed out mind is just floods with all these horrible thoughts of, oh, they don't really like me, they never like me, they just keep me around for pity, like all this horrible shit.
Yeah.
But I feel like if both of you agree for a few months now, it's not just like, oh, I'm having a bad stretch, whatever, for a few months now, and you know each other well enough, because you've been together for 3 years, and you probably you've known each other for longer. Yeah. And that's another thing that makes it so scary, is that it's been such a long time. I feel like when you're in a relationship for a good amount of time, especially that long, you start to think that people will just associate you with the other person. Like, if I was in I was in a year relationship in a couple months, I feel like if I showed up somewhere without my girlfriend, people would be like, oh, well, where's whoever. You start to define yourself by that relationship, where you're like, okay, well, I'm not just a person, I'm not just my own person with my own autonomy and everything, I got this other person attached to me in a social setting. Okay, I did have an analogy for this, and it's very morbid and very very dark. The way she was, not the way she was describing it, but there's something that kind of came to mind. Have you ever seen Siamese twins, where one of the twins dies and it starts to like affect the other twin? Have you ever seen that?
No. What? Are we talking about cats?
Like conjoined twins?
Oh. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know why
attached, so I could see why it would affect the other person. Yeah,
so I'm sorry, that's where my mind went to. It's just very it just kind of
what kind of analogy is that?
I'm fucked up, I'm sorry. But it just like, once the other side of that relationship kind of dies, it is scary, and it is to leave something for that long, and to also feel like, this isn't just, oh, I want to break up with my boyfriend. This is someone that you have loved for 3 years, probably more if you've known each other longer. It's not just a fling of however many weeks or whatever. It's hard, and it's so scary to take that leap into. It'll be a new chapter in your life once you break off the relationship. I'm saying once because I really think you should. I probably need more information, but I feel like if she's already saying 3 years and both like loveless on both sides, like I feel like that's your answer. For a few months, yeah. You, like he said, you kind of answered your own question of, is it really? What would you say is more worth it? The loneliness that could potentially form into healing after a little while, and that could form into something better that you could find, or staying in the same rut. I think there's loneliness in both things.
Huh?
I think there's more loneliness in staying. Like, if you stay in that relationship, it's kind of like an island in the middle of the ocean, and you're just kind of, you feel, I imagine that they feel stuck. I feel like that's even lonelier. Like, you want to hug this person and cuddle this person, or you miss when the relationship was fresh and new, and there was like all this dopamine attached to it. I feel
now
like
you're just kind of in a
Yeah.
hallway with no lights on. It's cold, and that's what you got.
There's a quote from a movie that I really loved.
Yeah.
It's a little different situation, but the guy was talking about his dad, and he said, "We were strangers who knew each other very well."
Oh.
That's what I'm feeling. Just hearing that,
Yeah.
you know, I just keep reiterating it is hard and scary, but I think the best thing to do, and I'm not ill will towards your boyfriend or anything. I'm sure, like, you guys can break it off, and there doesn't have to be a good guy or a bad guy. That's another fear with like leaving relationships is like that's fears that I've had, wanting to break up with someone and then worrying like, are people going to be mad at me because I upset her by breaking up, or like are people gonna there's a lot of fear of that, like not wanting to be the bad guy in the situation, which sometimes you are the bad guy if you kind of not bad yet, but it's rougher to like hold on to that hope where there's no hope, if it's not going anywhere, letting yourself think, well, maybe it'll get better, and maybe it'll get better, and maybe this and that.
That's that fucking word again, maybe.
Yeah.
If you're depending on maybes, there's no guarantee of anything.
Right.
It's just kind of it makes me sad because I've been in that situation before. And Mary, the one way that I got out of that situation is I got a little bit of courage, and I walked over to my partner of the time at that time, and I said, "Hey, neither one of us are happy. Neither one of us are going to try and work on fixing things between us. We're far past that point. I think it's best if we move on." And the loneliness that hit afterwards wasn't that bad because I had a lot of people around me to pick me up when I was down. And you have to be careful of that because people surround themselves with good vibes. If your friends are being surrounded with you to where you're in this relationship that I'm going to assume that you talk to them about, and it's always bad news, bad news, bad news, bad news, your friends are also going to start to distance themselves. The amount of times that I have seen a friend group disown somebody because of their relationship that they're in, and the friend group doesn't agree with it, it's an insane amount. Staying in this and continuing to be in that bad bubble is going to push out your greatest support system, which are the people that love you, your friends, your family, all of that. You can't push them out. You have to think of yourself first.
Yeah. And you brought up something that I want to, this is just like, it's kind of a overview for the entire episode going forward. It's something I was thinking about all day is love doesn't just mean relationship. Love doesn't just mean like someone you sleep with and you live together and all that. There is so much love in the world. With anytime I think of you or Cade or Tyree, like any of my friends, I love them so much. I love my family. I love art, like doing some stuff that I'm passionate about. There are other forms of love in the world, and I feel like people have gotten that confused. They hear the word love and they think of Valentine's Day, or just all like the romantic stuff.
We're gonna get married one day. Shit like that, man. We're gonna get married.
Yeah, like, so I feel like that makes it a little less lonely, a little less scary too, because it's like I don't just need a romantic love. I have so much love in my life when it comes to other aspects. You can kind of use all those people to like fall back on when you need it.
Yeah, and back to the point that I made, don't push those people out with the bad things that you're going through right now. Those are the people that are gonna get you through that. Half the people in the chat right now got me through that because, I got out of it before I pushed them out, and they're still here today. There are some lifelong friends that you can make when you're going through your worst moments because you see who truly cares about you in those moments. I would take that going forward. we're gonna press on into the next question, though. Is there anything else that you wanted to say regarding Mary's question?
I hope she is doing okay, and I hope the breakup is easy for both of you, because it just sounds like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it just, I feel like you're giving yourself answer. I feel like she just wants permission, or not permit, but like
that agreeable friend, like, yeah, you go do it.
Yeah.
Do that.
And you're not doing anything bad. I feel like a lot of people are just afraid of being the bad guy during a breakup. You do not have, there's no bad guy or good guy. It's just you're making a decision that will hurt you and your partner and everything, but it's not a hurt out of malice. It's just, it's something that's gonna have to happen. Sorry, I'm going on. I just hope you're doing good, Mary.
Yeah. Hey, announcement. We just met our 40 follower goal. Thank you, Lil Lizzie, for the follow. We have now met our goal. That's so cool. That's so awesome.
Woo.
But yeah, we hope you're doing well. It's a hard thing to go through, but you can always come back to the boys on Roll for Reflection, and you can talk about your problems here. We are more than willing to talk to you.
We are mentally stable.
Yeah. Sure. Next question. That I am prepared to answer this one. I don't like this question, but hey guys, love your episodes. I followed on the first stream. Thank you. Here's the most difficult question ever. Why is love so hard to comprehend, and what do you think it is? All right. Do you ever just sit there and try and make sense of love? Like, really try? I swear I've done it 100 fucking times.
Anytime I do it, I get nosebleeds. I don't know.
Yeah. I lay there in the bed, and I'm in the ceiling. And after a certain, like, experience with love, I'm just like, what the hell was that? Because love, I mean, there's no logic to it. There's no rules to it. There's no timing. It kind of just shows up out of nowhere. And it's really messy, and it's really confusing, and it can fuck you up in ways that you never thought you could have before. Or it could have before. When I was younger, I used to think that love was really simple. It's like you like someone and they like you back, so you must love each other, right? And you go and hold hands and go on little dates, and you're doing just fine, and that's love. When I was younger, that's what I thought love was. You would do those sorts of things, and then it would build into, oh, we're in love, But no one really talks about the in-between steps, of loving somebody who doesn't love you back, or losing somebody who is still alive, but they're not yours anymore. They're not dead. They're alive, but, they're not yours. They don't love you. And I think it's wild how someone can mean everything, but still walk away like it was, like, fucking nothing, And it's even wilder how you can still want them after they did that.
Yeah.
And honestly, now I'm rambling. I don't think love is.
This is the Rambling Podcast.
Exactly. I don't think love is supposed to make sense. I don't think it's something that you're supposed to solve. I think that it's a fucking storm that you walk through, and you're walking through a forest fire with a damn water gun. There are too many things to have to try and deal with not enough resources. But here's the thing. After all the pain and the sleepless nights and the unanswered texts and the ache in your chest when things don't go the way, you want them to, or I want them to, I still believe in it. Not the perfect kind of love, because I don't think perfection exists. But the real kind,
in any aspect, no.
Yeah, exactly. The real kind of love is what I believe in. You know, the love that sees you. You know, you're not. It's not like that shiny new car that you just bought. You know, I fucking love this car. Blah blah blah. You know, it's those moments of somebody seeing the real you and accepting you for who you are, and feeling the butterflies in your stomach, in your head, genitals. You know, whatever that may be. Whenever you see them, you know, looking at somebody and saying that is my person and I love them. I think that that's the true definition of love for me. And I don't fully understand it, and I don't think I ever will, but I'm going to keep on loving the way that I do, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Genitals.
Genitals.
Sorry, I wanted to say it too. It's a fun word. Yeah, no, it's fucking confusing, and it is hard to kind of pin down. I feel like romantic love specifically is so much different than, you know, friendship love or family love or passion for something that you do, because I think it's probably the most vulnerable you can be with someone. Like you said, like they get to see the real you, and your friends get a version of yourself, your family gets a version of yourself, but when it's a romantic partner, I feel like you just let it all out, you know?
Yeah.
Including your genitals.
Your genitals.
Genitals. That's just the entire podcast. Anyway, I went through something recently like this. When you were talking about the unanswered text and the pit in your stomach and all these, like, the horrible, like, aspects that you get from loving someone, I was telling my dad about the situation I was going through, and he said something that kind of still stays with me. Kind of compared it to going through withdrawals, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't feel like love should feel like that, you know? Like, so I already don't sleep. I'm an insomniac, but, like, I definitely wasn't sleeping, like, the few weeks I was going through what I was going through.
Yeah.
I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything. Everything just... I tried to play my games. Didn't like my game. Didn't like any music. It's just like everything was just bad. Every waking moment was just bad, and I was so riddled with anxiety. And just the way he put it was like, you know, you get this huge rush of all these chemicals in your brain when you do fall in love. And I'm not trying to be like a nihilist when I say that, like a Rick and Morty thing, where it's like, it's just chemicals in your brain. Everything releases chemicals in your brain.
Yeah.
You know, but like you get that huge rush of chemicals from falling in love with someone and getting in the excitement of just, oh, I'm meeting someone new and I've gotten into this new thing. Or
Yeah.
Even if you've known them for a while, if you start dating them and it's fresh and like it's just a whole new adventure you're about to go on, I think you should really question, like, okay, is this what love is supposed to feel like? Like, is this the kind of love that I see? Like, I'm not like sitting in my dark house, like staring at the ceiling, waiting on a text back from, like, I don't know, you or just any of my friends that I do love, like a platonic love. But when it's like someone that there's like lust involved and you know, all these sexual feelings too, it kind of clouds your judgment.
Oh yeah, dude. I'll be sitting there playing a
still...
game, and I'll have my phone propped up against my monitor, and every 4 seconds I'm looking over to see.
Yeah, but is that what love should feel like? Like, I don't think so.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Hold on. That's not love. That's trauma. That's anxiety. That's trust. Yeah. You know. Right. Those are things that you have gone through in the past that are making you do this. That's not how you love. Right. You know.
Right.
It's.
I was about to say, just like. Oh, sorry.
No, go.
Just like, I feel like the right person and the right situation aren't going to make you feel like that, you know, aren't going to make you feel all these things. And if someone's busy or if they got their own things going on, that's perfectly. And also, phones in this generation has made that feeling worse. Like like I was telling my dad about it, and he was like, "Yeah, you have that phone in your hand every second, and you have the expectations of okay, they also have their phone because it's 2025. Everyone has their phone, like glued to their hand. Back in my day, he had to wait by like the home phone, the landline kind of thing. Back in my day. So, and there was more explanations of like, okay, well, only one person can use the landline at a time. Maybe her grandma's on the phone, or maybe, you know. But with me and my anxiety and everything, I'm just like, they have their phone. Like, why aren't they texting back? And it's a horrible feeling.
That's such a real thing, though. It's such a real thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you have your phone, and you're choosing not to text me back. What's that about? And then you sit there and you're like, oh, you have that self-reflection. You're like, I'm gross. This feels gross.
Yeah.
I'm a disgusting person for thinking this way.
Yeah, yeah. And it really is just like you getting in your own head. But there is like this another thing where it's like you can't get a text back for like hours or whatever it is, and then you hang out with them in person and they're like on their phone constantly, and you're like, yeah, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you...
Is this what we're doing?
That's when you walk away.
Yeah, you should have told me that.
Yeah.
I usually stay. Because I'm like, little glimmers of hope. Yeah, it's
Electrician 44. Welcome to the stream. I do believe that's your cousin.
I think so.
And then Sal, ego versus love. Yeah, I'm assuming that's a question. We'll answer that in a few.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a crazy question, and even harder to answer. There's so many, like what we said in the beginning. Everything could be a right answer and a wrong answer at the same time, just depending on how you process love. You perform at something. Like drumming, like Cates. He's from that one really good band, right? What's that band called?
It's like warning signs. I think it's like
warning signs on Spotify and Apple Music.
They've gone platinum like 7 times.
No, they haven't. Don't put that. Don't lie. No,
dude, but they opened up for Bob Dylan.
I walked Bob Dylan on stage back in 1974.
Fuck you.
No talent. You no talent, presumptuous piece of shit.
You have it memorized.
Yeah, but you're more patient with yourself more than anything.
At least people like the show so far.
Let's take a look at some of these other questions. My girlfriend of 1 year isn't like she used to be. It's like all of the things I loved about her were replaced with toxic versions of herself. She isn't the person I fell in love with anymore, and I don't know if I should stay or leave. What do I do? Dang, buddy.
That's tough.
You know, I've been through this before. I've actually been through this quite a few times. And sadly, what you're seeing is the real them. You are seeing what they are actually like. You know, when you're in a relationship with somebody in the beginning, it's very fucking rare for you to find somebody who's just going to be straight up with you from the beginning. That usually just doesn't happen. A lot of people put on filters because you're still in that chasing scene to where you guys want each other to like each other a lot, and you're willing to change these things because you know that they like it, so you try, and then, you know, a year goes by and you don't really give a shit about changing it anymore, and now you kind of just act the way that you are. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the real them. Now, there could be other factors affecting how they feel. Maybe you should do some reflection and be like, damn, maybe because I say these things like this and I do these things like this, that is affecting the way that she feels and the way that she treats me.
Right.
Some self-reflection is in order. You need to take a look at yourself. But yeah, man, my main answer is that you're seeing the real them and who they really are. those toxic versions of that person, sadly for a lot of people, is the real them. Not everybody is able to hide those toxic versions, and a lot of people are toxic. It's just going to happen. Do I think you should leave? I think you should do some self-reflection, and I think that you should talk to this person about it first, and I think that you should make it known about how you feel about it, and then go from there. I'm not a relationship advisor, but dude, like Isaiah said, communication is key. That is the number one thing that's going to get you through majority of your relationships.
Yeah.
What do you think, buddy?
I feel like I can't really add much onto that because you answered like perfectly. I feel like that's like just a really good answer. But yeah, I will say that like this isn't just like your partner thing. I feel like every single person has that. I'm going to be on my best behavior when they first get into a relationship. And also, like, what are the things? Because I feel like that's just kind of. I don't have a lot of information on these people's like relationships. I don't.
Yeah,
I feel
we're
like
getting a very
it's hard to have insight,
broad,
like blanket
display.
Yeah. But like, what are the things that you liked about the person, or like who were they a year ago? That you wish you could kind of like get that same spark again. But also, I feel like I wasn't the same person I was a year ago or 2 years ago. Like, people do change, and I'm assuming whoever asked this is like in their 20s. Like, just like most of the viewers on here are just like friends and family and all that. People can go through drastic changes in such a small amount of time. So I don't know if it's a situation where they really did just change over a year, and maybe if they're having more toxic behaviors, which I don't know the specifics of it. Maybe they're just going through a hard time and they don't feel like they can ask for help, or and not anything you're doing, but like some people just go through hard times and they feel like they just can't talk about it, and it starts to build up, and then it's like having like a huge like gash like on your body or something, and the infection spreads, where it's like it used to hurt in this area, but now like if it's on my chest, then my arm hurts, and it spreads to my like belly and my brain, like
my cranium.
The hurt people thing is true. So like Adam said, you don't have to throw it away and be like, oh, they're not the same person they were a year ago. You have that open communication of like, hey, I feel like when we first got together, it was this way, and then I just want to know, like, give me some insight on why things are different now. And maybe they don't even notice anything different. Maybe it's just like, again, going back to the pedestal thing, maybe you put them on a pedestal. Victim blaming now. Like maybe
no,
that's not what I'm trying to say.
That's
like
that self-reflection. Maybe they did.
You know what I mean? Like maybe
look back.
Right, like were they really as cool and awesome and oh my god, they were the perfect person? Nobody's perfect. Everyone has flaws. Everyone has toxic, traits and everything. Just I would just you just answered it perfectly. I'm just kind of trying to add to it,
no,
but
that's fine.
just have open communication, man.
Absolutely. We have a question from the chat. Does it cause more harm to cut people you loved out of your life, whether it be friend or family, to help get the negativity out of your life? Honestly, no, I don't agree with that. Because I believe, I agree, but I don't agree. I believe that there is always going to be a compromise. There can always be compromise. Now, after said compromise is discussed, then decide to cut them out, because it will probably be for the better. If you are sitting here wanting to compromise with somebody and you know that the result of that compromise will not change the way that you feel at all, then yeah, it's absolutely okay to cut them out. But definitely try to compromise at first, at least. What do you think, Isaiah?
I just feel like we have the same brain, because that's what I would have said too. Like,
Jeez.
These last
This is your
three questions.
cousin
It's
asking.
just, oh, is it? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, again, like open communication, just trying to find that middle ground of, listen, here's what's been upsetting me. Here's how I think we should solve it, or how maybe we can solve it. Let's try to workshop it. If someone is just so resistant to change or resistant to just hearing you out, like if someone, if they're upsetting you and you healthfully, you don't just go in screaming and you did this and here's what, you got to come at it from like a very neutral kind of standpoint, being like just calm. Hey, this is what's going on. And they don't reciprocate that at all, and they don't want the change, then yeah, I think it is okay to make that decision. And it's a hard decision because it's someone you love and it's someone that was like in your life for X amount of time. But if it's just like talking to a brick wall, then I think it'd be healthier to cut it off, because if you don't cut it off, it's just going to build and build and build over time.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, man, definitely. All in all, give them a chance. Now, if you've already given them multiple chances and it's still no compromise and no improvement, yeah, cut them off. You'll be a lot happier in the end. Okay. Jeez. That's some easy ones. Where are the easy ones at?
everyone, the host included, we're all going through it. It sounds like there's been quite a few of my buddies and me recently where we're just like, God, like, I'll be like, how's your relationship going? Whatever, man. Like it's, oh man.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Here's one from our good friend Blaze, who I think made his fucking Twitch name Roll for Erection.
Beautiful.
Can you love somebody else without loving yourself? Short answer, hell nah. Long answer, no. I don't think that you can. You can be in love with somebody, and you can be infatuated with somebody, and you can be obsessed with somebody, but with loving yourself comes respect, self-respect. If you don't have any self-respect, how are you supposed to respect other people? If you can't even respect yourself, then you don't need to be trying to respect other people. You don't need to be in a relationship. Because there's certain responsibilities that you take on as a partner in a relationship. It is expected for you to take care of each other, and for you to respect each other's wishes, and for you to listen to each other, and all of these different sorts of things. If you don't... Now, I'm not saying you have to love yourself completely, outright, but if you can't find that self-respect for yourself, you can't portray that onto other people, because it will only end up hurting them and you. What do you think, Isaiah? I see you got that look in your eye over there.
Yeah, I don't know if I fully agree.
Yeah, we might disagree on this one.
Right. You are completely right about you need to have a certain level of self-respect of, here are my boundaries, I need you to respect them. If you don't, I don't think this relationship is going to work out. There is that kind of self-love. I don't know. I feel like you can still have... There are certain parts of self-love that you're lacking on, where it's like, oh, I don't like how I look today, or I don't like, for me, it's like an art ability thing. I feel like I can't draw today, or I feel like I can't, write something cool, or it's like that. Not saying you should rely on the other person. You shouldn't use anybody as a crutch, but I feel like they can kind of fill in the gaps of, I'm feeling bad today. I don't like my body. That's a thing for me. I wish I took better care of like my exercise routine. Like, I'm like decently muscular, but I wish I didn't have the body fat that I did. I wish I was more toned, and wish my muscles were bigger and all that. But I've had multiple women tell me that they love my body type, and that helps a little bit. And that's multiple different people. That doesn't mean like the one same partner, but having someone that you respect and admire, and someone that you're very attracted to, tell you that, like, okay, maybe you don't like your body, but I love it. There have been times where I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can look at myself a little bit better, knowing that this person that I absolutely adore adores me back.
But but wouldn't that make it a crutch? Aren't you putting a crutch onto that person? You're depending on them to tell you things that you should already think yourself.
You're saying I should think about myself, like it's a requirement.
No, that's a good point.
Hold on, why did you just do a Trump? Well, roll for reflection. Great
Roll
podcast.
for reflection, episode 3, great podcast.
Me and Jeffrey listen to it all the time. There's a red dot on my forehead. I get shot immediately. Sorry.
No, I don't think it's a requirement for you to love yourself. But you are putting that crutch onto somebody else, are you not?
What's your definition of a crutch?
Definition of a crutch is I don't think this way, but because you think this way, I will think this way. I'm dependent on you to help me feel better about myself. Which that's inherently fair. Is not a horrible thing to do. I've done it. I still do it. It's not absolutely abhorrent. You're not going to kill somebody by doing it. But in the long run, for your own mental stasis, I think it's important for you to find those. I think it's important for you to be able to do those things on your own.
No, that's fair. That's a fair point. Maybe I didn't word it right. I'm not saying like they completely change perception. They just, like what we were talking about in, I think, the first episode about like getting help from others. They're not doing it for you, but they are helping you in the general direction. When I was a kid, I couldn't take a shower without turning the lights off, and
really?
Like I didn't want to look at my body in the mirror. No, I spent most of my youth just showering in complete darkness because I didn't want to look at my body. I spent a lot of time not like going without like a shirt on. Like I can't be in my own house alone, or like when I lived with my family, like I couldn't walk around the house without clothes on because I just couldn't stand to look at myself or just know that other people could see like my shirtless torso,
Yeah.
But I'm not saying like it's I'm completely using it as a crutch, but them nudging you in the right direction of, okay, I don't like this about my body. I don't like my stretch marks on my arms. I don't like the way my gut looks. I don't like this and that. But if someone that I adore and just a beautiful person, or beautiful, maybe I'm just using the wrong words here, but like just someone that you get that kind of approval from, they can point out, well, okay, well, I like your collarbones, I like your trapezius muscles, I like this, I like that, and you're like, okay, no, I didn't think about it like that. Them traps, boy.
Let me see them traps.
Yeah, I totally see what you're saying too. I'm just saying like they can kind of nudge you in the right direction of self-love, and it's not even just, again, not just the romantic thing, but if I'm like shitting on myself because I feel like I'm not the best artist or whatever that I can be, and I'm shitting, I'm like, I'm not really good. If like you or Cade or just anybody, any of my friends will be like, well, no, I love your art, dude. I talk, I show my friends it. Anytime you post, I'm just like, wow, I don't know how he does that. That's so good. You're like, okay, well, these people that I love and respect and admire, they love something I'm doing. Maybe I should give myself a break and try to see what they're seeing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, you can't use it as a crutch, but it can kind of push you in the right direction of a little bit more self-love.
Now that you talk about it in that light, I now see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Sorry, maybe I didn't articulate it the best I could at first.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
We are catching some wisdom from the chat here. Most people can't love others without a healthy relationship with themselves. Most. Now, unconditional love definitely requires a well-rounded mind. I would agree.
Let's have them on the podcast.
Okay.
But I feel like I've just been rambling.
I know that guy.
Yeah,
no, that's Sal. I think this would be a good point for us to end off the session. However, I did want to bring something up to Isaiah as well as everybody who's going to be watching this on different platforms. What me and Isaiah what we could be doing, I have to ask him about this at a later time, but we could record extra and I could double upload YouTube videos. So we could have an episode 1 and 2 of this episode if we find the time to record a little bit extra. And if you guys want to see like double episodes and all that, drop it in the comments, drop it in the email, do anything like that. But Isaiah, do you have any closing comments for this stream?
Yeah, I mean, I just think this stream was a little harder to get through because a lot of the questions were just, navigating love and relationships is just one of the hardest things to me because it's like, I feel like I've been in a lot of relationships, but I still feel like I'm just asking myself more questions of like, how do I do this? like defining love was a hard thing to do, and we didn't even like fully define it. It's just kind of like what your current kind of meaning, what it means to you. It's just a tricky thing. It's a very tricky thing that we're all gonna have to like learn how to do it together, and it's also just very like unique to every relationship. Like if you try to have a cookie cutter relationship, like Billy and his girlfriend, whoever, whatever, like they have it this way, why can't I have it this way? Like going back to the comparison thing, it's just everyone has their own baggage that they bring to a relationship. Everybody has their own like past traumas that affect their current relationship. It is such a scary thing to try to navigate.
You know what we might do?
What's that?
We might make love a two-parter. We might touch back on love next week as well.
You cut out at we might make love, and then you cut out, and I was like,
we might make this episode a two-parter.
Right.
Next Friday, we might touch back on love.
Yeah. Because there's just so much to cover. Yeah. So submit those questions either live on stream or text either one of us if you know us. Isn't there a Patreon tier where you can send questions?
So if you are a part of any of the Patreon tiers, we will make it a priority to answer your guys' questions in the Patreon chat. You have to ask the questions in the Patreon chat, and then we will take those questions in priority. The higher the tier, the higher the questions, or the higher the priority. And remember, if you are tier 3, then you are able to hop onto the podcast and you are able to ask us a question live. Keep in mind that every Friday at 7:30 Eastern Time, we stream on Twitch, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. And our YouTube channel is starting to grow a little bit. We're getting some views, we're getting some subs, we're getting some likes and all that junk. Be sure to share those videos and get on over there to the YouTube channel and show us some love over there. The Patreon, Patreon, same deal. If you have any questions that you would like to email to me, the ones that I have here on my other monitor before the session, you can email them to us at rollforreflection@gmail.com. Good fucking
and just
session,
share the
dude.
pods. Great session. Great questions. Just share the pod with someone. Like if one of these questions or topics resonate with you, show it to your buddies. Show it to be like if you're in the middle of a conversation, you're like, oh, this reminds me of something that Adam and the idiot talked about. Like we can fucking show people. She'll be like, this is two dummies. Yeah, and and it's not even that we're giving answers or giving out like kind of direction on how to live your life or whatever. It's just mostly this podcast is just talking about this stuff, getting it out, and kind of having a group therapy session with each other, with you and me, and then everyone watching. Yeah, I mean that's all I gotta just share it.
Hell yeah!
Promote us.
Thank you, everybody, once again for tuning into our podcast. It has been so fucking fun making these that I will talk to Isaiah later, but I really do want to double record sessions and all that, and make some.
Yeah.
Maybe push it to 2 a week. Who knows? We'll get there.
That'd be crazy.
That would be absolutely crazy. But thank you everybody for tuning into our stream. We love you and we appreciate you. And you are always welcome at our table. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. That was nice.
I felt like the session went by a lot faster than the other ones did.
Yeah, it did feel like that. But no, that was damn near 2 hours long.
Damn!